Hello, everyone. Just making sure that I am live and everything is okay and streaming. Just give me a 1 second just to make sure. Just to make sure I can see myself. Okay, perfect. Welcome, beautiful. Thank you so much. If you're joining me live, welcome. And if you are seeing this on a replay, welcome as well. Please let me know wherever you are, whether you're on the live session or in the replay. Just drop me a hello, say where you are, how are you feeling today? I love to really be able to connect with you on every different level, as you know. It doesn't matter where we are in time, in space, we are all connected. We're energetically here, right here in this space. So, welcome, beautiful ones. So, today, I'm really excited. I wanted to come on here to talk to you about presence. And to begin with, there is something that's really, really dear to my heart, and I truly believe this with all my heart. And it is that when there is presence, even the hardest thing is possible. When there is presence, even love is right there and potent and palpable, even in the most, perhaps difficult and hateful time. And one of the things I really want to bring forward in everything that I do in my work is presence. That is because when there is presence, not only do we remember who we really are as a human being, as a cosmic being, we also remember that we are all unique and yet so divinely connected to each and every single person here, every sentient being. Whether it's a dog or a cat or a horse or a human being or a flower or tea leaves, herbs, rivers, the stone, we are all connected, even to the space where we're sitting in right here, right now, wherever you are listening to me. I'm connected to this space. I hold the energy of this space, and wherever I go in with presence, my presence holds that space. And so there is something very near and dear to my heart that has happened recently that has really compelled me to share this wisdom, to share this incredible journey and the alchemical fire that I went through myself, and that I really do quite often with my clients, that I can finally feel that it is time right now to bring to a beautiful 2-hour alchemical circle that I call the Phoenix Goddess Rising Alchemical Circle. The whole session includes the tea ceremony, and that beautiful alchemical circle that I speak about is going to be a divine journey to plunge deep, deep, deep into our crystalline caverns of the unconscious, to really sit with our grief, to really sit with things that we perhaps have swept aside for many, many, many years, perhaps even centuries and many, many past lives for the longest unconscious time living. And this is a journey to take to meet our dark goddess so that we can rise as the Phoenix Goddess. And I really wanted to come here to speak about this because I know grief very, very deeply and closely. I know this because when I first started to serve tea in ceremony, there have been countless times when at the beginning I wasn't aware of the power of the magic, but there were already women coming to me who have sat with me, and they would tell me, I connected with my mother. I connected with my mother, my grandmother. Oftentimes it's the mother who's either passed or are still alive, that they don't really have a good relationship with, or maybe ancestors that they didn't have a good relationship with, or maybe ancestors that they have never even spoken to, that they didn't even know of. And so I started to notice this pattern, and I really, really understood that though tea ceremonies have such immense power, and a power that has stood testament to time, because this is ancient wisdom that we're talking about. This is truly ancient, 1,000-year-old medicine with hundreds of years of ceremonial rites and rituals infused into this one moment when we share this transformative and healing space together. The transmission doesn't come through the words, but the transmission comes through presence. And the presence is not just the presence of the spirit of tea, it's also the presence of yourself. They brought themselves, maybe unconsciously at first, but they started to land in this beautiful alchemical space. And when they do, something starts to move. Something starts to melt. And in that melting, we start to allow ourselves to remember, to plunge with faith deep within, to journey even deeper, to descend into our unconscious, to realize, what have we abandoned over the years when we needed to survive? What have we ignored? Our intuitive voice, especially, what have we ignored through the years so that we could make it happen? Isn't it time for us now to really acknowledge these things that we have kind of cast aside because we thought we needed to do that in order to survive in some way? And I mean surviving in a way where we felt that we needed to be something to belong. We needed to make something happen in order to make sure we're okay, that we are safe, to protect ourselves in some shape or form, right? Personally, I know that grief is a word that may sound familiar, but perhaps something that needs time and openness to access. And I've seen this time and time again, even with myself and the clients that I work with. Grief turns. When grief is not acknowledged in the proper way that it needs to be, it turns. It turns into anger. It turns into something that shoots up into the head, literally. So it becomes anger. Grief turns into inertia. Grief turns into a form of abandonment. Grief turns into all forms of things so that we can keep trudging on in our days, so that we can keep going on. Sometimes grief can even turn into mania, to addiction. In a smaller form or even in a major way, whatever that is, it all begins in that beautiful jewel that we call grief. And it is something that came through when I was having tea on my own one day, this beautiful saying that grief is a reminder that there is love in us all. Love that is appropriate in every sense of the word. Love that is almost like this grandmotherly love, this cosmic remembrance of how big we are, this soul that we are, this spirit that we are. And if we could have a space for grief to land, that's when alchemy begins to happen. That's when you can ask, who is this me? Who is this? Who is this in me that is waiting to take wing, waiting to sprout wings to fly? And that is why I felt so drawn. And it was something that I kept coming back to, even though there were moments when my ego kind of said, maybe this is not needed. There's so much about this now in the world. Why do you need to put this up? You know, why another alchemical circle about grief? But what I went through earlier this month, actually towards the end of last month, I went to Japan early February. I can't believe time has flown so quickly, actually. And when I came back, I realized that I was going through a kind of grief process of my own. And that grief process was really about, oh wow, like there were so many moments in time because we had 8 short days in Japan, in Kyoto. We went to Wazuka, we were in Tokyo, and the grief that came up after the whole trip was that I felt like I wasn't present enough. I felt like there were moments when I could have slowed down, but we had things to do and therefore we couldn't. And it was a grief for truly that these moments won't come back again. And this is something we practice so deeply in the way of tea. In Cha Dao, we talk about it all the time. We talk about one chance, one encounter. Every moment is precious. And we appreciate every single moment, every encounter, every opportunity we have to share tea, to be with someone, to meet someone new, to meet someone who's been in our lives for a long time. We appreciate that so deeply because we know that it is that one chance, one encounter. This time will never repeat itself again. It will never come back again. Even when we have we have the privilege to meet again, the same person, to share the same tea. It's never the same moment. You know what I mean? Because that was then, and this is now. And if we could really understand the potency, the power behind that, if we can feel it, we can feel it in our heart. That is the love I'm talking about. It's like, oh my God, like, wow, wow, like, wow. And it made me realize again and again and again that life is so short. It really is so fucking short. It's like saying, I really want to live like this, but I don't know how. And then the decision is, can I go forward? Can I take this inspired moment and take the action towards somewhere, even though I am feeling the fear? And fear is a human emotion. We feel fear. All of us do, no matter how big we become, no matter how much growth and evolution and expansion we have, no matter how much pain we've suffered in our life, we still feel the fear. But the question is, are we going to allow this fear to run our lives? Or will we take this opportunity to rebalance and reharmonize our journey to our Tao, our purpose, to live on purpose, to be authentic enough to stand up and say, you know what? I love you. Right in this moment, I love you so much. And do we have the courage to be authentic enough to say in that moment, no, this is not for me? Do we have the courage in that moment to say, that is for me, even though I'm so scared and it feels like such a big thing that I have to step into? It's a shoe that's so big that I have to step into and grow into. And I've done that many, many times in my life. I've spoken about this before when I started Siren Goddess, right? For those who have never heard of it. I started Siren Goddess when I was in this space where I was just doing tea ceremonies in person and just going around charging like 80, at most 80 pounds. Like it was probably like 15 to 30 pounds per session of 2 hours. And in that moment, I had Siren Goddess was born. And in that moment, I was like, who am I to be a Siren Goddess? Who am I to say I run Siren Goddess? I have this immersion called Siren Goddess, and I'm going to help you transform your life. Like, that was a version that I stepped into. Every moment, every single time something comes up, I'll ask myself, how would the Siren Goddess act in this moment? How would that leader act in this moment? For me to sit here today to talk to you in a way where I'm calling you out and saying you can lead with love, and also this is not even the tip of the iceberg. This is like deep, deep stuff. And you can go so much deeper. For me to say that is because I have embodied this truth. I have embodied this journey into the darkest, darkest crystalline caverns in the unknown, in the unconscious, alchemizing my grief. And does that mean I don't feel grief anymore? No. But I sure as hell know how to hold myself through it. So going back to the grieving process of what I went through, I realized that as I was grieving those moments that I missed, that I wish I was more present, it brought me back to so many different things. It brought me back to the moments when I remembered that when I was going through my growing pains, let's just put it that way, when I was going through a very confusing time in my life, when I was not conscious, I was living deeply in the people-pleasing mode, I was really just struggling. There were moments when I didn't have time to be with my friends. There were moments when I was struggling with my health, with my eating disorders that and my OCD and my body dysmorphia. Like I had no time for my family or my friends. I can't tell you how many times I've shed tears of regret for the days that I wished I had paid more attention to my grandmother who passed away, my two grandmothers and my two grandfathers who are with me all the time now. They're with me, their spirit is with me every time I hold space, every time I hold space for something that I think is too big for me to handle. They are here, they're always here, and I feel them. But there were many, many years when I was deep in the regret of not being able to spend time with them, for being that granddaughter who just was so in her own head and had no time to care for her grandparents, right? In those days, I was just desperate to run away. I was like, I don't want to be here. I need to get out of here. And no thought for these elderlies. There were many years I regret that until I felt their presence in my ceremony, until I really reconnected with them. It was a big moment for me. And there was infinite forgiveness. And it was also a permission slip to do the great things that I'm here to do, to know that they're here holding me all the time with tea. And tea spirit has always been the one to light the journey, has always been, it was always her guidance and her guardianship, her light brings me through the darkest paths, the darkest passages, to meet my dark goddess, to die a death. Because if you have never died a spiritual death at all, like I'm saying at least once, I don't think you're ever really awakened, to be honest. Because from what I know, and I've died so many deaths, and I think I will continue dying in so many ways, so much of you keep shedding. And the more you shed, the lighter you become. And when I say lighter, you feel like your weight of baggage and the things you carry that no longer really serves you, that it doesn't serve you, whether it's the conditioning or whether it's a heritage and inheritance, something that runs in your bloodline, or even things that you have accumulated in this lifetime through your own experience, through your interaction with other people. These things just need to fall away for you to rise energetically into your truth. The truth that you are cosmic, the truth that you are cosmic magnificence, the truth that you're here to embody this here. We're not given a body to deny it. The body is a gateway, and we must learn how to harness it. We must learn how to integrate the mind and the body and your spirit so that you train the mind to focus on what is truly here to help you amplify your truth, your cosmic truth, your version that is, all about abundance and freedom and evolution. And it all starts with coming into a space where you sit with your grief, where you sit eye to eye with your grief. And grief comes in so many forms. We don't even realize it. Having gone through the past couple of years, where is the honoring of that grief? Have you honored that grief of things that we were not able to do? Have you, grief comes up even in the moments when we have recovered from a big sickness or an illness, and we have to sit with the moments when we have missed certain things in those days, perhaps a friend's wedding or someone's funeral or whatever it is. These little things add potency. It amplifies and it enlivens your spirit because you're now feeling them. You're now really being with them. You're not just casting them aside and saying, well, yeah, I was sorry that happened, but let's not talk about it, right? It's so important that we understand the word grief is not just like a big thing where someone died and you have to mourn them. Yes, that is a huge thing too. But what I'm really urging you, inviting you to really come inward today is to ask yourself, are there parts of my life? Thank God I came out safely from that, but I have not grieved yet. Whether it is a breakup, right? Whether it was you've now recovered from something, like I said, whether it was an addiction that you recovered from, whether, it's now a relationship that is mended, but then there were things that were never spoken about. So many things happen when we forget that actually grief turns into a different face, and we have to turn it back into the original state for us to alchemize it for good, alchemizing it for the highest good. Actually, let's put it that way. Okay. And the one thing that cannot be amiss in doing this work is presence. Your own presence, not your mentors, not your mothers, your fathers, or whatever that you think is responsible for the grief. Your own presence. You have to be there to look at that emotion in the face. You have to be the one to meet it where it is, because you're the only person who knows where it is and what it is. And this is why I wanted to do this. I wanted to run Presence, which is going to be a divine tea ceremony and alchemical circle, because I want this to be a transformative and beautiful, lush space for you to do this. You want to come in, you want to land, you want to come in, you want to break apart and fall apart, you want to come in and rise. Whatever it is, this is the space that I'm ready to do this work with you. And so I just wanted to come on here and share this because I know how it is to really find a space for this to land. Is not easy. But what I understand from the work I've done with tea, day in, day out with clients, is that this is a medicine. This is a medicine for grief. It alchemizes everything into love. Love in a way that is not hinged upon the validation of others, but love that is right here in the core, here in you, inside of you, cannot be taken away. And love is the highest vibrational frequency of all. It is a reminder of the unified field. It is a reminder that you are the unified field, that you are the universe, that you are here, you are limitless. So if you're caught in a space even of scarcity, of lack, of thinking, I can't be loved because I'm not good enough, or I can't do this work because I'm not good enough, or I can't do that, I want to do that, but I can't, I'm not enough, I don't have enough. This work is for you as well, because there is a place that is dissonating so deeply in you that's saying, I don't deserve this. Because what is that? We want to go there as well. Your body is not to be denied anymore. And the feelings, when felt in your body, that's embodiment. Embodiment is the key to unlock everything you desire in your life. Everything. And it happens quickly because we're working at the energetic level. We're not working through stories. We're not working through the logical mind. We're not working through all of that. We're doing the energy work. We're packing it in here. Okay? So if this sounds like something for you, I am so delighted to offer you a space. You can just click on the link or link in my bio or DM me. It's a beautiful thing that I'm doing just one-off on the 29th of March at 4 p.m. UK time. The recording will be yours for a lifetime access. You can take it and run with it forever. I am gifting it to you. And it's an incredible opportunity to just be with me without having to go through all the mentorship to be in that space with me. However, if you are in the 1-year mentorship, which I call at Mystery's Gate, you will already have access to it. So if you're listening into this and you're like, yes, I'm in there, thank you, then all great. But if you're someone who's been sitting on the edge and you're really loving what I do, and you're thinking, well, I don't want to think about things anymore, I just love everything she does, jump right into the mentorship, because you get access to everything that I do. And you also get 3 weekly activation ceremonies with me, either one-to-one or in a group, depending on whether you're doing a private mentorship with me or the group level mentorship. And you also get a mastermind with all the women in there. It's going to be incredible. And this is the work I'm here to do. Because if you embody the vortex of stillness within you, you will live on purpose. You will live on purpose in your authentic power. And I trust, and I am owning this. I am loving this work because I want every woman to have this, to understand that they already have it. They just need to know how to access it, and have fun on the journey with a mentor, doing it quicker, doing it together with someone, not alone. Because the biggest illusion that you could ever have as a leader is that you're here to do it alone. You're not. You don't have to be alone. That's the thing. When we learn, when we embody the knowing, we can walk with leaders, and we can walk with people who aspire to be leaders, because there's a leader in every single one of you. No exception. So let's come into that space, let's alchemize this up, and really let's go. Let's take that inspired action from stillness. In stillness, everything is possible. And we take that action, we take that aligned action from there. So this is my hope for you, this is my intention. I send you all so much love. I can't wait to see you in the circle. I can't wait to see you in the mentorship for some of you who are like, yes, I'm getting in. All the links in my bio. Sending you all so much love. I love you all, and I will see you so soon. Thank you.